Hi everyone and welcome back to One Agile Production. My name is Ash Khan and in today's video we're going to explore the various roles and responsibilities when it comes to working in the Scrum team. A good friend of mine and an ex-colleague, Rick Sarika, introduced me to this interactive workshop which I have found to be really helpful when I run this with my teams. This video is divided into two main sections. First, we'll examine the distinct roles and responsibilities that make up the Scrum team. In the second half of the video, we'll explore the various events that take place within the Scrum framework. So let's dive straight into our Miro board. So we have three circles which each represents a role within the Scrum. So we have three roles in Scrum. We have the product owner, the Scrum master and the Scrum team. Now you can see that the circles also overlap one another. So let's see how this actually works. So before starting this session, I would highly recommend we spend a few minutes with our teams asking them to nominate someone from the team who's going to be the person that moves these post notes on the board. It doesn't necessarily mean it should be the Scrum Master. It could be anyone from the team to try and keep this session as collaborative as possible. Now we are ready to start our session. So let's pick the first item on the board, and it doesn't have to be in any particular order. So for example, I'm going to pick the first one, guide the team in Agile practices. So let's have a quick discussion as a team as to who is responsible for guiding the team when it comes to Agile practices. Is it the product owner? Is it the Scrum team? Or is it the Scrum Master? So in this instance, it's going to be the Scrum Master, so we can actually move the ticket or the post-it note towards the Scrum Master. Okay, let's look at the next item now on the list. So for instance, if we take this one, which is hold each other accountable as professionals. So who is responsible for this? Again, is this the role of the product owner to hold everyone accountable as a professional, or the Scrum team, or the Scrum Master? Or is it everyone? So this means that everyone on the team, and that includes the product owner, the Scrum team itself, and the Scrum Master are responsible to hold each other accountable as professionals. So we will actually move this post note in this section. What if we have a post note on the board which doesn't sit into any one of these roles or responsibilities? So for example, let's look at this one, pressure the team to deliver more. So who is responsible for pressuring the team to deliver more? Now in this instance, it doesn't actually fit into any one of these categories. It's not the role of the product owner, the Scrum team or the Scrum Master to try and pressure the team to deliver more work. So in that instance, we could actually leave this post note outside of these roles' responsibilities. So during this session, as we work together, we'll gain a clear understanding of everyone's roles and responsibility, which ultimately will help our team operate more effectively in the future. Now let's move on to the second part of the video. And here we will look at the different Scrum events we have, which is such as the refinement, planning, stand-up, showcase, retrospective. And you'll also see I put something called the backlog and the wild sprinting here as well. And we'll also look at these post-it notes. And the exercise here is to match each of these post-it notes to the corresponding Agile event. Okay, let's take the first post-it note we have. So in this instance, create a user story. Where can we create a user story? Can we create it in the backlog only, refinement, planning, in the daily stand-up, in our showcase, retrospective, or wild sprinting? So again, as a team, have a quick discussion as to when can we create a user story. And in this instance, we should be able to create a user story while we're still sprinting. So a user story is not just created while sprinting, but it could also be created in our backlog. It could also be created when we're having our refinement sessions or planning sessions, having a daily stand-up, showcasing to our stakeholders, and even our retrospectives. Now let's look at another item we have on the board, check sprint metrics. As a team, discuss and agree when we should be checking our metrics. So in this case, check sprint metrics, we can do this in our daily stand-up. We could also be doing this in our showcases and our retrospective, and also while we're sprinting. I highly recommend facilitating this interactive workshop with your teams, as it will help them gain a deeper understanding of the individual and team roles and also the responsibilities within the Scrum framework. And it's also an enjoyable way to learn. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, then please remember to like, subscribe and share it. And feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, stay safe.